Welcome back to Haymaker Combat Sports, powered by the Belly Up Sports Media Network. I'm your host, EJ Reed. We're excited to announce the launch of our new Quickie series, and this will be a series separate from our main full-length shows. Shorter shows focus more so on the smaller fight cards, the Apex cards, and maybe some of the smaller boxing cards in the PFL. And we're launching this to, make ourselves more visible and put more content out there for the viewers and the listeners. And these shows will be exclusively on the Belly Up YouTube page. Video form will be exclusively on the Belly Up YouTube page, along with clips from the full-length shows will be on the Belly Up YouTube page. But for our main numerical series, the videos will be on the Haymaker Combat Sports YouTube page. Yeah, so we're excited to get that going. And, we'll do these as frequently as we can, these quickie episodes, because believe it or not, we do have full-time jobs at Haymaker Combat Sports, and Haymaker isn't our main jobs. But, like I said, we're excited to put more content out there for the listeners. And sometimes I'll be doing these quickie episodes by myself, and sometimes I'll get a co-host, Admire or Steve or Chris, or maybe get a special guest co-host. Who knows? But without further ado, let's hop into this card that's taking place this weekend. We got UFC Fight Night, Ankalaev versus Walker 2, aka Fight Night 234, aka ESPN Plus 92, aka Vegas 84. And who knows why UFC has all these titles for these fight night cards. It's hard to keep up with, but whatever. Let's just get into it. And for these quickie episodes, we'll start from the top and then make our way to the bottom. So let's get into this main event. We got a rematch. And you don't see a lot of these rematch happens if it's not a title fight, immediate rematches. We got Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker, immediate rematch, like I said. And that last one ended in controversial fashion with that no contest, with that illegal knee, Ankalaev to Johnny Walker. And yeah, Walker was down bad when that happened. I'm like, is this dude gonna make it? But nonetheless, this card this weekend is pretty intriguing with this rematch. I don't really know who to pick in this one. Ankalaev is a minus 550 in this one, and Johnny Walker is a plus 385. And Walker kind of changed his style up when he went to John Kavanagh's camp. A little bit more conservative in there, not as wild as he was when he first started. And Ankalaev is a beast. I mean, even though that no contest happened, even though he had that kind of a stinker with Blachowicz with that vacant light heavyweight title, he had 9 wins before that. So, he knows how to get the job done. And Walker, before that no contest, he had the wins over Anthony Smith, and then 2 other wins before that, Paul Craig and Cutelaba. Plus 385, that's intriguing, because I think it would have been a little bit closer than that. But I think I'm going to go with Ankalaev in this one. So that's who I'm going to pick. Let's make our way to the co-main event on this one. We got Matthias Nicolau versus Manel Kape. And Manel Kape is an interesting cat. He went on that post-fight rant, and he used some colorful language that I won't repeat on here. Go back on YouTube if you want to watch that. Matthias Nicolau, he had that loss against Brandon Borrell. He was a title contender. And before that, he had 6 wins. So that's nothing to sneeze at. And Kape is coming off 4 fight win streak coming into this fight. Kape is a minus 290 to Nicolau is a plus 235. Not quite a pick 'em, but think Cap's got the momentum going in on this one, so I think I'm gonna take Cap to take this win. And let's make our way to the next fight. Jim Miller, the wily veteran, versus Gabriel Benitez in the light heavyweight division. Excuse me, the lightweight division. Jim Miller is a minus 140. I'm surprised. Jim Miller is a 40-year-old guy. He's been in there since a lot of fight fans were born. I don't know, man. I thought Jim Miller would have waited to go to UFC 300 and not take a fight in between then, because once he's on 300, he would have been on 200 and UFC 100. And I don't know. I think Benitez, I think he's a 35-year-old cat. So it's not too big of an age gap. And Jim Miller's coming off that nasty KO of Jesse Butler. Thought the dude was dead. Won the last 4 out of 5 matches. So I don't know. It's pretty much a pick 'em. So I'm gonna go with the veteran and take Jim Miller on this one. I like that. Let's make our way to the next fight. Ricky Simone versus Mario Bautista. And Ricky Simone coming off that loss with Son Yong. But before that, he reeled off 5 wins. We got Mario Bautista is on a 5-fight winning streak with 3 subs. Ricky Simone's a minus 190 to Mario Bautista's plus 160. So this is pretty much a pick 'em as well. I'm gonna go with Ricky Simon on this one. That bantamweight division, not quite wide open because they got their favorites at the top. Of course, Sugar Sean O'Malley, but with Ricky Simon, you never know. You reel off 4 in a row, you might be right there in the title mix. So, yeah, I think Ricky Simone will take this one. And let's go to the last fight on the main card. We got Phil Hawes versus Bruno Ferreira. And Hawes is a plus 110. And Bruno, he's a minus 130, known as the Hulk. He lost his last fight, but he won his UFC debut. And he's a UFC Fight Night Dana White Contender Series guy. Phil Hawes, man, he's kind of down bad. He lost the last 3 out of 4 fights. But this is pretty much a pick 'em as well. I think Phil Hawes, that middleweight division, is kind of wide open with Sean Strickland being the champion, but Phil Hawes is nowhere close to being in title contention. But I think he'll be desperate in this one and try his best to get the win because he might get cut losing your last 3 out of 4 fights. So I'm gonna go with Phil Hawes on this one. And for these quickie shows, we'll pretty much stick to the main card. But if there's a card on the prelim that intrigues me, throw that in, which applies to this card. We got Andre Arlovsky on the prelims versus Waldo Cortez Acosta in that heavyweight division. I don't know. Arlovsky might be on his last legs with this one. He lost his last 2 fights and got finished in both of them, one by sub and one by TKO. And Cortez Acosta, he's no chump, man. 10-1, 4-1 in the UFC. He's a 32-year-old cat. And Arlovsky's a former champion. We like seeing him in there. But I don't know. I think this might be his 3rd loss in a row. I'm gonna go with the young up-and-comer cat. I'm gonna go with Waldo to take this one. But there's a lot of intriguing fights this weekend. And like I said, these quickie shows will be a little bit shorter. We'll keep them to 5 to 20 minutes, throw something out there. And when time permits, we'll come back on and do a quick recap of them as well. But y'all enjoy the fights this weekend, and this will be the first UFC fight of the year. And they got a lot of good things in store. We got UFC 300 this year, and to be honest, 299 and 298 have better fights in my opinion. But we'll save that for the main shows. But that'll do it for us here on this Quickie episode of Haymaker Combat Sports. Until next time, be safe out there. Peace.